Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about some of the miracle stories that are happening right here in our own city, in our own state, every day. My name is Tony Kausha, and the title of our show is Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. Please note, this show is not about religion, and we're not trying to change anyone's religion, and we're not trying to get you to join any religion. It's just about miracle stories. I don't know of any religion on the planet that doesn't talk about miracles. That's why religions begin, because they have something that's telling them there's really a God. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to just talk about miracles and leave the decisions about all that up to you. So we don't care what religion you are. We just want to talk about miracles. If you are an atheist, I think you'll enjoy the program as well, although I can't guarantee you'll remain an atheist very long after you hear many convincing stories, coincidence kinds of stories about miracles. You can email me your own stories if you wish. We'll try to use all we can on the show. I can't guarantee we will, depending on volume and time, but you're welcome to send your stories on to us, and we will mention them when we can. You can send them to the following email address. But please notice that if we do use your story, we won't mention your name. We'll keep you anonymous. And we suggest that in your story, when you send it to us, don't use your correct name. That way anyone listening will not be able to figure out that it was you that sent the story in. The email address you can send your stories to is very easy to remember. It consists of 2 words and 3 numbers. The first word is Tony, spelled Tony, and the second word is and, spelled AND, and the numbers are 777. So once again, the name is Tony and 777 at AOL.com. Well, let us begin. Our first coincidence miracle today is one day when I was inspired to go into an empty church and meditate and pray for a while. I brought my Bible with me, and I was inspired before I went in to bring some miraculous medals with me, because I passed them out to people who are looking for miracles. And if you Google miraculous medals, you'll see the history about them and how many people get miracles, and they attribute it to the fact that they were carrying the miraculous medal and they were asking Mary to intercede for them for their needs, like the marriage feast at Cana, where Mary interceded for the wedding to get wine for the wedding. So there's a whole history about miraculous medals, and that's why they're called miraculous, because people who pray and they carry the medals will tell you they're always getting miraculous things happen to them. So I went into the empty church. I had my Bible. I was going to do some reading, but I was inspired to bring the medals. When I got inside, there was nobody there except just me and the Holy Spirit, of course. And so I was reading my Bible and meditating and talking to God about things going on in my life. And I was getting ready to leave, but I got inspired to wait a little longer. So I waited a little longer, maybe 10 minutes longer. And suddenly a woman who apparently was jogging in the area stopped in for a visit, and I got inspired to approach and introduce myself and ask her if she had any needs for her wanted medals. And it was amazing, because she had some illnesses in the family and she was very interested in the medals, and so I gave her 4 medals for 4 different issues going on in her family. And then, as I typically do, I asked if she had any miracles. I told her about our radio show and our 2 books, etc., and asked her if she had any miracles. And she was thinking, and then she got inspired. She said, well, all I could think of is to tell you the following. The youngest person in our family has just gone to Sunday school. He's new at it. It was first class for Sunday school. So he came back from Sunday school, and people were asking him questions. And I asked him if he learned anything on this first day. And he said, oh, yeah. He said, I learned that Jesus is a regular guy, is a very regular person. And she chuckled, and I kind of chuckled. And I reflected on it, and I guess I would say this about that. I found that Jesus is really a very regular guy, too. Jesus says, if you're reading your Bible, Jesus was both God and also man. So Jesus was fully 100% God and fully 100% man. Those two states of being were both housed and existed within the human form of Jesus. Spiritually, he was God in the form of man, and so he had to live like the rest of us. He had to learn, he had to find out about God, be taught about God, ask questions about God, read the Bible, and his mother played a big role in this. That's why we don't worship the Blessed Virgin Mary, but we hold her in great esteem because she agreed to be his mother, and she certainly did all of the things that a mother of a man God would have to do. She had to deal with Jesus as a youngster who was man and God, and help to raise him and help to have him find his spirituality as well. And certainly God the Father from heaven did as well. But it's very difficult to explain in common terms. Suffice to say, Jesus was fully man and also fully God. And this person who just went to Sunday school has the right answer. Jesus was a very regular guy. Yes, he was. He had to be our model. And so he couldn't be, in the human state, he couldn't be like Superman, flying and bending steel and speed of a bullet. That was the godliness within him. As a man, he had to be like us. He had to walk. He couldn't fly. He had to reflect what a man would do if he had the presence of God within him. How would a man behave? And that's what Jesus did. He showed us how to be a man when the presence of God is dwelling within you. And that's what the rest of us should look like today, although I, for one, have a long way to go. Our next coincidence miracle is from a woman who listens to us regularly. She found out that a friend of hers from many years ago had lost her phone number and address and contacts, and this friend was trying to find her, so she decided to go looking on the internet, and she did. On the internet, she found the woman who's sharing the story with us. She found her on YouTube simply because the pastor of the church where the woman sharing the story with us frequents, the certain parish that she goes to. The pastor there was having certain people selected at random to explain why they believe the things they believe, why they believe in God the way they believe in God. And so this woman had made the YouTube presentation. It got onto YouTube, the video did, of this woman explaining why she has faith in God and what kinds of miracles in her life had made her positive there is a God. And so this woman who was looking for her, coincidentally, is looking at the right time and finds her on YouTube, and the YouTube video just appeared there very recently. And the reason why this is so amazing is because they actually wound up being at Stop and Shop at the same time on this day when the woman found out about her on YouTube and was going to look her up. And she went to Stop and Shop, and turns out they were both in Stop and Shop, shopping at the same time, and they met each other there after many years, right after she found her on YouTube. So this is a very remarkable story, but it does show the coincidence miracles that do happen to people. The woman was looking for her friend, didn't know where she was, hadn't seen her in a long time, and she finds her, and then also, coincidentally, another coincidence miracle, even after finding her on the internet, she's at Stop and Shop shopping, and she sees her on that particular day. Our next coincidence miracle is interesting, I think. It's about a man who was married for 5 years and had 3 kids, and a wife, certainly, and his wife worked as well. And he was kind of sad and depressed that he had not arrived where he wanted to arrive at this state of his life. He had different ambitions when he was going to school of where he would be at this point in his life. So he was getting a little discouraged and feeling a little sad about where he had arrived. He didn't think it was far enough to where he thought he should be at this time. He wasn't as successful at things as he thought he would be, etc. But then the next day, he was cleaning out some things in the attic, and he said that when he was cleaning some things out in the attic, he stumbled on a book that had been there for many years. He got it as a gift from someone a long time ago, highly recommended book, and he never really opened it. And the title of the book is Consecration to St. Joseph. So let me say that again. The title of the book is Consecration to St. Joseph. And for those of you who don't know what all that means, it means that you read the life of St. Joseph, the husband of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the stepfather for Jesus, and you read about it, and then you consecrate yourself to his guidance. You ask God to please let St. Joseph guide you. And the way it works is, all of us have the presence of God within us. All of us have the presence of God that we can tap into. And John chapter 17 in the Bible tells you that. If you read John 17, you'll see that everybody who believes in Jesus automatically has the presence of God within him. So this man, like everybody else, has the presence of God in him. And St. Joseph also certainly believes in Jesus. He was the stepfather. He knew all about the angel appearing to Mary, etc. So because St. Joseph believes in Jesus, and because this man believes in Jesus, John 17 says that the presence of Jesus dwells within them. And that's been in the Bible now for 2,000 years. So because of that, he now got interested in saying, he said, gee, I never really read this, so let me take it downstairs and I'll take a look at it over the next few days, which he did. And he became extremely impressed about the stories that were in the book, the cases of people who asked God to let St. Joseph kind of be their guardian angel and to help them with their life. And that's what happened to him. And he shares with us that he's had a wonderful life in the process, and he knows that St. Joseph is helping him, and he sees many clues, many signs. For example, his wife recently became pregnant again, and the doctors have just told him that the new child is going to be born on March 19th, and March 19th is the feast day of St. Joseph. So that's a pretty remarkable situation. He's reading about St. Joseph. He asks God to please let St. Joseph be kind of my guardian angel, and his wife gets pregnant, and the baby is going to arrive on March 19th, which is the annual feast date every year of St. Joseph's feast day is March 19th. Pretty amazing coincidence miracle. Again, coincidence miracles are ways that God is showing us that he's with us, that he's real, that he's talking to us, and he's helping us. Our next coincidence miracle is similar to the last one. It's about a man who stopped into an empty church to meditate and pray. And when he got into church, he started looking at the parish bulletin, and he read it, and he found an article in there by Father Boniface Hicks. Again, Father Boniface Hicks. And the article talks about how many people have ambitions in life and goals in life, and they don't materialize, they don't come out the way we thought. And Father Boniface Hicks has done a lot of research about it, talked to a lot of people, and here's what his article said. The process is we try very hard to climb the mountain, we wind up failing, and then we surrender to God, who is the source of all of our strength. And so the bottom line is, keep talking to God, asking God for help, doing what he tells you, and you will succeed. God bless you all. I'll talk to you next week.